but I'm just going to be before you for a quick minute. I was thinking, and I was putting together in my head why God didn't give us eyes in the back of our heads. If we had eyes in the back of our head, a lot of times it would hurt us from walking by faith and not by sight. Folks, Luke 9 verse 62 says, what man putting his hands to the, it said, if you put your hands to the plow and looking back, then you're not fit for the kingdom of God. Folks, there's always some reason, some plot, some dastardly thing that's done behind our backs that if we had eyes in the back of our head, we would probably never walk by faith. We're called to walk by faith and not by sight. And that's a good reason why we don't have eyes in the back of our head. Many times there got to be plots right behind your back, and you look towards tomorrow. That's faith. While they're plotting, while you're wishing that you could see their every move, while you could see, wishing you could catch their sleight of hand, God's calling you to move forward. Folks, I'm speaking a word to you today. Don't worry about all that stuff that's behind you. Don't worry about all that stuff that's back there in the retinue of your life. Don't worry about what could be, or what plots can be hinged right behind your back, right by where you can't see them, because God called us to walk by faith and not by sight. Hey, Sister Liz, God bless you, Sister Liz. I'm praying and I'm telling you and speaking a word into your life that you're not going to see. Sometimes you're going to have to know that they're plotting behind your back, but you keep walking by faith. Sometimes you got to know that somebody in this setting has a motive to disrupt what you're trying to do, and you got to keep walking by faith. No man putting his hands to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. Folks, Hebrews 11:6 says this, without faith it is impossible to please God. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. Folks, sometimes in diligently seeking him, you won't have eyes in the back of your head. Right in the middle of hellhounds barking on your front door, right in the middle of you being in the fight of your life, right in the midst of you having folks plotting, scheming, conniving plans all behind your back, whether it's in a church setting or corporate setting, that God calls you to walk by faith and not by sight. Folks, no man putting his hands to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. None of us would be in if we had eyes in the back of our head, because if we had eyes in the back of our head, we'd be walking by sight and not by faith. We were commanded to walk by faith and not by sight. So a lot of things that are hatching behind our backs, plot schemes, derisive plans to your life's goals that are being hatched behind your back, we see all those things, and then we start walking by sight. So folks, God's calling you every day to move forward, to proceed greater, to proceed onward. And you can do that so greatly because God didn't give us eyes in the back of your head. Everything that happens behind your back, you trust God for those things. That you trust that God can make the situation right. When you're not in the meeting, that's after the meeting that you were in, God's there. So that's why you don't have eyes in the back of your head. That's why we need to walk by faith and not by sight. That's why when we put our hands to the plow, that we don't have any time to look back. We need to move forward. Trust God for our tomorrow. Trust God for our present. Trust that God is the same God that he was in Psalm 46, I think I'm right, that God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in the time of trouble. Child of God, you thought not having eyes in the back of your head was a bad thing. Stop trying to catch every plot. Stop looking when they whisper. When you walk in the room and they go quiet on you, don't go looking. It's trying to figure out God's not calling you to the private eye ministry. I'm speaking a word into your life that you trust God for whatever they're doing. And you trust God to move onward. Keep your eyes moving forward, forgetting those things which are behind. It'd be so hard to do that if we had eyes in the back of our head, and reaching for those things that are before. I press. Folks, a lot of times it's going to be a press. You're going to wish you had eyes in the back of your head. But when you're wishing that you got eyes in the back of your head, you're not walking by the faith that God commanded us to walk by. Put your hands to the plow, and looking back, that ruins your faith walk. Folks, that's why we don't have eyes in the back of our heads. Be blessed. Have an awesome, awesome day.